Good morning, my name is Matthew Hugo from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Wednesday the 14th of September. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. We will start by taking a summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. And generally there is model agreement and consistency from previous days that between days 11 and 15 the majority of Europe is forecast to have temperatures very near to climate averages and generally within 1 to 2 degrees of climate means across most areas. Overall, the 6 to 10 day period is once again generally unchanged, and the majority of the forecast models maintain temperatures very near to climate averages, though perhaps just trending slightly above by 1 or 2 degrees and perhaps trending slightly below by 1 or 2 degrees, particularly across some southern and also eastern areas of Europe. And finally, between days 2 and 5 there is a continued signal over many southern areas of Europe, including Iberia and across Italy, for temperatures to be generally trending slightly above climate averages by generally 1 to 3 degrees, yet further north, including Benelux, Germany and Austria for example, temperatures here are likely to remain very close to climate averages. And now take a look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, as highlighted within the red circle, with the exception of some model outliers from the GFS for example, the remainder of the forecast models, including my specific forecast as represented by the solid red line, have temperatures very near to a climate mean of around 13 degrees Celsius as we move towards and beyond the weekend of the 24th and 25th. There is medium or perhaps even medium to high confidence for this temperature trend, given very good model agreement and consistency. The following weather chart for Friday the 23rd of September helps to generally give an illustration of why temperatures are forecast to be near to climate averages. Low pressure is forecast to be dominant across the United Kingdom throughout the remainder of September, producing a relatively mild west or southwesterly air mass, which is forecast to lead to very near to climate average temperatures. Overall, there has been generally no significant changes or modifications from the last couple of days between days 6 and 10 across the UK. And once again, as you can see within the highlighted red circle, there is very good model agreement for temperatures to be very near to a climate average of around 14 degrees Celsius as we move into the opening week of the 19th of September. Given good model agreement and consistency, confidence levels are medium to high to suggest that temperatures are likely to remain very near to climate norms. And finally, between days 2 and 5, confidence levels are high given very good model agreement and consistency for temperatures to be generally near to climate norms. They may well drop just slightly below, but only by 1 degree, near the 15th of September, and perhaps rising just slightly above towards the 16th and 17th, but overall temperatures are likely to remain very near to climate norms. And finally, it is also worth to highlight that confidence levels are quite high as well to suggest that there is little or no threat of any extremes of temperatures across the UK within the next 7 to 14 days. And now moving on to take a look at the expected temperatures across Europe in closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, model agreement and consistency continues from previous days, and that is for most areas to have temperatures very near to climate averages, though perhaps just trending slightly below across some southern and southeastern areas of Europe, including Switzerland, Italy and Austria. And many other areas of Europe are likely to have temperatures perhaps just slightly above, but again by only 1 or 2 degrees at very most. Using the latest France model comparison graph as an example, you can see that as we move towards and beyond the weekend of the 24th and 25th of September, with the exception of some milder GFS outlier runs, the majority of the available forecast models, and more particularly and importantly, my specific forecast as represented by the solid red line, has temperatures very near or perhaps just trending slightly above climate averages by around 1 or 2 degrees. I have medium or medium to high confidence for this specific temperature forecast. Between days 6 and 10 overall there is once again very little change, and temperatures are forecast to remain very near to climate averages, though perhaps trending slightly above but only by 1 or 2 degrees across some central and western areas of Europe, including France and Spain for example, and perhaps just trending slightly below across some far eastern areas of Europe, including Austria, Italy and perhaps up into Poland. The latest Spain model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation, and as you can see as we move into the opening week of the 19th of September, the majority of the available forecast models and my specific temperature forecast have temperatures generally trending perhaps 2 or 3 degrees above climate averages. There is very good model agreement and consistency for this, and as a result I expect temperatures across Spain for example between days 6 and 10 to be generally trending slightly above climate norms. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are high given good model agreement and consistency for for many central and southern areas of Europe, including France, Iberia and across to Italy, for example, to have temperatures generally trending 1 to 3 degrees above climate norms. Many central and other northern areas of Europe in particular, including the United Kingdom, Benelux and Germany, are likely to have temperatures either near or perhaps just trending slightly below, but only by 1 or 2 degrees at very most. And now taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia. And within the next 7 to 14 days, as we move towards the end of September, there is model agreement and consistency to suggest that the majority of Scandinavia is likely to have precipitation totals either near or trending above climate norms, particularly across many areas of Norway and also into some northern regions of Sweden and Finland, where precipitation totals in excess of 80 to 100 millimetres is forecast in what is likely to be a particularly unsettled and wet period of weather over the next 7 to 14 days. And now taking a look at global weather alerts which highlight significant deviations from normal. And despite some regional variations, there is a trend for many eastern and northern regions of China, particularly over the next 7 to 10 days, to have temperatures trending at least 4 to 6 degrees below climate norms in what is likely to become quite a particularly cool period of weather. There is also a continued trend today for many central and southern areas of South Africa to have precipitation totals well below climate averages. With the exception of some southern coastal regions, most areas are forecast to experience little or no measurable rainfall throughout the remainder of September. And finally, latest forecast model data continues a trend from previous days, and that is for many western areas of the United States to generally have temperatures trending well above climate averages by perhaps as much as 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. In contrast, many central and eastern areas of the United States are likely to be cooler, with temperatures trending generally 4 to 8 degrees below climate norms. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.